Hello, hello, it's DNN Dave. I hope everybody is doing well today. I thought I would share with you something. I was playing around a bit today, just having a little bit of fun with a few things, and decided I wanted to do something to kind of enhance the content, maybe even help SEO with my DNN Dave website. And I thought it was kind of fun what I was trying to do and the way they ended up solving it. I thought maybe I'd share that, and maybe it would help some of you out there that are looking to do some things like this. So let me share my screen here and we'll go through a few things. So what I wanted to do was, on the DNN Dave website, when you go to a video detail page, it currently doesn't show anything as it relates to the transcript of the video. So if you're out on YouTube, you know, you can actually see the transcript of it and so forth. And I thought, let me try to bring the transcript into here. And that could bring multiple benefits to this page, but wasn't sure exactly how I would go about doing that. So if I were to click on this video and go to the YouTube channel, and I'll go ahead and pause it so that it doesn't play, you know, you can actually go to the three dots over here and you can actually see the transcript to the entire video. So I was like, well, okay, that sounds good. So maybe I can copy all of this text here, right? I'll just go ahead and do it. Scroll down to the bottom and I'll copy this text. And I'm thinking I could probably just easily manipulate that and paste it into my structured content solution that's out there. Well, when I copy that, I decided I would look at it in Visual Studio Code and see what it looks like. I tried pasting it in different formats and so forth, and you'll see that things are highlighted a little bit here because I've got some things already done to prepare for this particular video. So I was like, well, that's not really formatted in a great way. So how can I manipulate this to make it look better on the site? Well, first, I want to go ahead and go back to the site and show you what I did as it relates to the actual structured content solution. Let me refresh this site just to make sure I'm logged in still. Yep, I am still logged in. So in my view for this is my detail view. I went ahead and added a section here to do a collapsible button based off of a new field that I created. So I created a field called Transcript, and I'll show you where that is. If I go into my admin of the app, I've got data here, and for each video I've got a set of fields, and I added a transcript field. I let that be a what you see is what you get type input for that, so that we could just paste HTML into there. That's ultimately what I want to do, because I want a nicely formatted transcript. So let's just go ahead and do it for this particular video here with me and Anderson Oliveira, not Anderson. My name is not Anderson.com, I believe is the site. Those that have been around DNN community for a while will appreciate that one. We miss you, Anderson. So let's see, we've got this. I've opened up the video over here. I've already copied the transcript into my clipboard and I've pasted it into Visual Studio Code. Now, one thing that you'll notice is I have a regex replaced. Now, for those that aren't familiar, the default experience for find and replace in VS Code is going to be character based. But you can click this little asterisk over here and use regular expressions for this. So I've already got a regex that's figured out here, and let me show you what I'm doing. So let's go back over here. I'm going to paste that same text into here, and I'm going to put a carriage return at the end because that's part of what my regex is going to do. But let's break this down just a little bit. What we need to do is, I want a nicely formatted table in the end where the timestamps portion of it are in a left column and the text is in the right column for each timestamp. But this is really just a bunch of carriage returns at the end of the timestamp and a carriage return at the end of the text. So I needed to do a regex expression that's going to be able to format all this in one fell swoop and you can do something called grouping within regex expressions, and that is done with parentheses. So you'll see that this section here, I've got a group, and then I've got a group, and then I've got another group. So I end up with 4 groups. And the first group is kind of the most complicated, but it's fairly basic in the sense that it's 3 things separated by colons optionally. So this first one says grab any digit characters from 0 to 2 characters, right? Because sometimes I may not have an hour. So if you think of it as an hour and a minutes and a seconds on the timestamp, you'll see this video here doesn't go into the hours, but I do have some videos that cross the 1 hour mark. So I want to make sure that I get those as well. So that's why I did 0, 2. So that says, let's match any digits that are numeric between 0 and 2 digits. And then a colon, and then the question mark after that says optional for that, because in the case of like 4304, I don't have an hour, and I also don't have the other colon. So that'll help me to just get that optionally. The next one is the same thing, but instead of 0 to 2, I know that I'm always going to have at least 1 digit here, even when it is way back at the beginning of the transcript. You'll see that it always has a 0 here. So I know that I'm going to have at least 1 digit prefixed to the colon, but just in case, I went ahead and put a question mark in here anyways. It doesn't hurt to have that, so that works just fine. And then I want the colon followed by 2 digits, because it's always going to have 2 digits at the end. Now I could have done this with a curly brace 2 here as well, but I just chose to do \d and then \d for each digit. So that is my first group for the regex. Now the second group says, okay, now when you find this, also look for a new line or line feed, because I want to grab the line feed that is after only the timestamp here. So that is the line feed that follows this match. And then this says any characters after that. So that's going to grab any characters that are after whatever I match. So that should get the next line here. And then I also want to look at the new line that's after that, because this one is different than the new line that's after the timestamp. So, you know, I'm not a regex expert, but this ended up, I had to play around with this quite a bit, but this is what I ended up with. Now, come full circle back to over here, what I want to do is use that same regular expression to find it. And what's highlighted here is what you're going to see. So if I just did a Control X here, you'd see that's what my text normally looks like. If I put this in here, then it's going to say, okay, it's matching stuff. So I want to also go all the way down to the end, because I want to make sure that I've got a carriage return here at the end, because I want to detect that new line that's there. So now I want to take that and I want to replace it with a nicely formatted table row. And, you know, that way it iterates through all of these, and we're using a couple of key pieces here. So the $1 is a special thing that says, give me the first group. So that is represented by the first set of parentheses. So I want to inject that value that matches inside of a strong tag within a table cell that's within a table row. So then I want to create another table cell, and I want to use the third group match. So the third group match is the text that is after the new line after the timestamp. Hopefully you're following along, makes sense. And then I want to close my table row. And then just from a formatting standpoint, I want to add a new line right here at the end, because I want my result here to look really nice, so that I can just paste it right into my WYSIWYG editor in Too Sexy. So I'll go ahead and replace, and you'll see, voila, it formats all of this absolutely beautiful. So I've got my table row. I did some just inline styles here to make sure that all the text within that row is aligned to the top. I've got a table cell opening. I've got strong around the timestamp. I've got a closing cell. I've got another cell here, so it'll be a 2-column table. And there's my table row. And then I've got a new line here in the editor. And if I scroll down, I want to make sure that it's doing that for other kind of timestamps as well, right? So I've got 2 digits as a minutes here and 2 digits a year. It looks like, seconds, and that looks fantastic. If this was one that had a really over an hour in there, that this will work with that just as well. So now I can take this, copy that into my clipboard, and I can go back over to my site. And since I have added a transcript here, I can go into the source code view. I can do my wrapping table markup, do a return, paste, and then close my table. And if I save that, you'll see that it looks fantastic. So now I can save this, and now because of my conditional in the view back here, I said, hey, if I don't have if the value of transcript is not null or white space, then I want to show this markup here. I want to render this markup and inject my transcript into there. So now if I refresh page, right, I've got a view transcript and it's a nice collapsible, and I've got a beautifully formatted transcript here. And since that is done in the way that it's done, it's still discoverable by search engines, and that's really nice. So it's a little bit of a manual process here, and I do have to have a way to remember what I'm doing here. So what I decided to do is go ahead and just publish a public gist out on GitHub. And you can find that if you go to my GitHub, which is David-Poindexter is my username. So github.com, or excuse me, gist.github.com/my username. You will see there a one for YouTube transcript replace. So this is the find characters and this is the replace characters. And hopefully that'll help some of you go out for something like this. But it's also kind of a lesson in thinking a little bit outside of the box. You know, I could have done all that manually, but think about all the time that would have taken to be able to go through all that and for every single one of these videos. So now I can just very quickly, and we'll go through another one here real quick to do it. I can very quickly go out here and manage these. So I've got to go through here and update all of mine. So I've gotten through most of them here. So let's take this one here. I'll open the detail. I can click on this. I'll go ahead and oops. That has the wrong link in it. So I need to fix that one. I'll come back to that one in just a minute. Let's grab this one and go to the actual video. I'll go ahead and pause it so that it doesn't run. And we'll grab the transcript from this. So show transcript. I'll go ahead and swipe this down, wait till it gets to the end. I'm wondering if this one's more than an hour. Ah, yeah, it's more than an hour. So we can see an example of that. So I'll copy that into my clipboard. I'll go over to Visual Studio Code, select all this, paste. I'll do a carriage return at the end just to make sure that my regex is going to capture that last line. I'll do a replace. Beautiful. I can select all of that, copy it. And actually, before I go back over to the website, we'll just scroll down to see what the past 1 hour mark. See, it handles that beautifully as well. So I'll go back over to the website now, go into edit. I'll come down and enter into the source code view for my transcript field. I'll type table, return, paste, and then close my table, save, and now we've got a button with the transcript. So I just need to go through here and update all the old videos, but as new videos come out and I publish those, I'll now have a way to put the transcript in there and to bring in that extra SEO value. So I hope this has been beneficial to you. I hope everybody has a great day.